Thank you and welcome for joining us for Chamber Talk. I'm here today with Minnie McAdams, Director of the Fairfield Area Chamber of Commerce, and I'm Jason Strong, Director of the Fairfield Media Center. And the holidays are finally over.
Yes, we have survived.
We've made it through the critical time of the year that like everybody is going bananas over, and schedules are totally chaotic. So now I got the last Chamber Talk. We've got some things on the horizon coming up here. I know, like legislative forums and things of that nature that I know I'm going to be involved in.
Absolutely.
What do we have anything going on specifically this week, or are we just talking long-term stuff at the moment?
So right now we're focused on January. So in addition to the legislative forum on January 18th, bright and early on a Saturday morning.
Always.
Business after hours in January has always been a hard one. I feel like when we schedule it, we end up having to cancel for weather. So rather than schedule one, we're going to do a Donuts with the Director. So for members or potential members to come in, have some coffee and donuts. We're going to have a tutorial on our back-end database because we have some members who are not utilizing that, and we're getting ready to turn on some new bells and whistles in that back-end database. So come in, find out what your benefits are, because we have people that are not utilizing their benefits, and we want you to understand that you're paying for these services, so you should use as many of them as you want.
And I know for some people coming in and even having just that physical conversation is less intimidating than trying to jump on the computer and trying to figure it out yourself or things of that nature. So.
Absolutely. And we're willing to come to you. So if you can't make Donuts with the Director on the 22nd, send Claire or I an email. We'll come to you and we'll walk you through the back-end database. We'll help you get it set up. We'll help you with all the things. But we want people to utilize the benefits, and we're going to look at some new benefits this year. So
Awesome.
This year is all about getting our members engaged and active.
And now when is that for members?
January 22nd from 7 to 10 a.m. We'll have donuts from our friends at Hy-Vee and coffee and probably some juice. We'll see what else we...
Food is always a great way to get people to come to something.
There's free food. Okay, that's what you need to know. Come visit me, and I'll be there, so you know. And you can sit on Santa's couch, because Santa's couch house is in our office while he's not...
Oh,
the houses
nice.
are gone.
Very, very nice. Now, I know we've got the legislative session coming up, and that's the first one for the year.
Yes.
And that's on the 18th. Who all is going to be there?
All three of them will be there. From my understanding, they've all committed. Senator Adrian Dickey, Representative Helena Hayes, and Jeff Shipley. Our topics this month are taxes and education, because we know that those will be topics that they start on, because there's a lot of push on that. And so this is a great opportunity to really get to meet your legislators, to ask them questions. They do a really great job of updating, like, here's what we're doing right now in the Capitol, and here's what we feel like the direction of we're going. So this is a great opportunity. We do open the doors at 7. We begin at 7:30, and we end promptly at 9, because many times they have to go to another legislative thing on Saturdays.
Yeah, there's been a handful where one or two of them have had to cut out early when it's gone past that.
Yep.
So yeah, our legislators, they do a great job. They are very busy, but at the same time, they help facilitate this stuff so that we can have those conversations. We can have all those updates that we need to know about as citizens. So,
and they have a large coverage area, with the redistricting. Adrian, I think, covers, I don't remember if it's 9 or 10 counties. And
wow.
He's got a lot of places that are, vying for his attention. But we're his local hometown-ish. So we will enjoy their company. We try to stay topic specific for the legislators. Otherwise, they have to know about every single bill up there. And unless they're on the committee that bill is in, they may not have the information about it.
So they may or may not know
staying
everything about
focused,
it.
they can go, okay, what are all the bills currently in taxes, or all the bills around education, or what do we think we're going to see come out of that? So it'll be good. And then we're doing one in March. March 15th. So we're just doing 2 this year because we don't want to take time. Our legislators spend their entire week at the Capitol, and their weekend should be with their families. They do need to come and visit with their constituents, so we figure this gives them a great opportunity for this area.
Now, FMC, we will be there. We'll be live streaming it, especially if the bandwidth holds out. Sometimes we run into, internet issues occasionally. It doesn't happen all that often, but we will be there. We will be live streaming it, and we will have a recording of it posted up on YouTube promptly thereafter. And
And then our final event of the month is on January 29th, and this is an event co-sponsored with our friends from Grow Fairfield. The Downtown Resource Center will be coming back with the Iowa Finance Authority, and they will be talking about funding and incentive options for business owners, building owners, and the city. So if you own a business, you own a building, and you are looking for money, you need to come to the library. The event will be from 6:30 to 8 in the library meeting room. And that's a great opportunity to find out what's available, because there's a lot of state and federal funding, but they're all in different areas, and it can be very overwhelming to try to find what you need. They're going to present about, here's some things that you can get right now today.
I know, like, as far as grant stuff can be really hard to kind of find, seek out, search for. So I'm sure these are kind of no different, and being able to have an area that you can go to, kind of get a hands-on on what things are available is going to be really beneficial. That being said, we have Ed Malloy as your guest in here today.
It's another director.
Right? We're all directors. It's like the
Come have donuts with the directors.
So I will hand it over to you.
Thank you. Hello, my friend.
Hello.
So you are Grow Fairfield. I've tried really, really hard to stop saying FIDA.
I know it's always going to be there.
It's a new branding, but it really it works, and I love it.
Yeah, it does.
So it's a new year for us, which means new board members and new priorities and new goals. So you had a couple board members who recently left.
We did. We have 8 board members currently, and they all serve 3-year terms, a maximum of 3 3-year terms. So we had 2 board members, Ken Ross and Amy Jones, who finished up their full term of 9 years with the board. Great contributions from both of them. And we invited and basically voted in T. Liptak, who has both the Boom Fitness gym and also Bodie, which is a digital advertising company, and also Vanessa Willman, who is with the Foss, Kuiken, Guken, Willman, Cochran.
The group.
The
Foss group.
Right. So anyway, they're just lively, really looking forward to the opportunity to really dig into the economy of Fairfield and add to the progress.
Absolutely. And we're always excited when we can get some new good board members.
Yeah,
Amy
absolutely.
and Ken were really great.
Absolutely.
I was there for the luncheon to say farewell, and I was shocked by some of the things they talked about, like all the things they've seen in 9 years. It was wonderful.
Yeah.
So what are your priorities coming up? Because you did some really great strategic planning.
We did. Last summer, we invited the Institute for Decision Making from University of Northern Iowa, who, while I was mayor, we used several times for some planning initiatives, and they just do a tremendous job. So we had our board together along with our ex officio members, and we really talked about what we're doing now, what our vision is for the future, and we came up with 5 different goal areas. Again, we like to kind of take on those priorities that that our members and certainly our largest employers and our manufacturers are telling us what it is that they need to retain their workforce and
Absolutely.
to attract new workforce. So when it came up a number of years ago, probably 4 or 5 years ago, that childcare was the priority. We took lead in that to see that facility was completed, and it's been open for 2 years, and it's going really, really strong. So right now, housing is really number one. It's everyone. We had a conversation before going on that you're in that boat also. What do I buy in the community?
Yes.
So it's sort of a good news, bad news. It's good news because, Fairfield is a desirable place for people to live, whether they're renting or owning, but we're missing opportunities as well. So we want to really approach the housing in an aggressive way. We purchased a piece of land 2 years ago off of Libertyville Road, just south of the new child care center, and it borders the Jefferson County Health Center, the Madison Barn property, and also the Fairfield Loop Trail. We call it the Sunrise Trail subdivision, and we've begun doing some work on that. We have 34 acres. We're going to be designating a phase 1 of 31 lots. So we hope to get 31 single-family homes in there. There'll be smaller lots to get more density. We think we're trying to get home prices somewhere in the $250,000 to $300,000 range for 3-bedroom, 2-bath, 2-car garage. And we're starting a lot of that research and work on that now. A big piece of this is the infrastructure that needs to go in there, roads that need to go back in there. We've been talking with the city for most of 2024, and they are in the process of working on setting up a TIF to build out the infrastructure for this. So it will be very much a partnership with the city of Fairfield to do this new development. We haven't had a new housing development of this scale in Fairfield. Martin Brett has done wonderful work over the last 10 years, and his numbers are amazing. And he'll be close to 200 units out in North Campus Village. But again, with the city's involvement in this and with the lots that'll be available, we think we're going to attract outside developers to Fairfield. And also, we're going to be doing some things to incentivize our local builders and contractors to build here as well. Part of that also involves working with the city on infill lot development. The past year, in the past several months, we purchased two lots, one on 6th Street and Monroe and one on 7th Street and Jackson. They're corner lots. One of them was owned by the city. There was a home there that was condemned and taken down as a vacant lot. We purchased that. The city would like to do more of that if they have to go through the condemnation process. So they wanted to see a model of how homes can be repurposed on these lots. So we've been impressed with what Habitat for Humanity has done over the last few years using the Iowa Prison Industries Homes for Iowa product, where it's a finished home, about 1,200 square feet, 3-bedroom, 2-bath, and it basically rolls onto a foundation. So we've purchased the 2 lots, and we've ordered 2 homes, which will be delivered in June. So we're going, and this is essentially... it's our opportunity to create a product that will be really in the affordable range. So we're hoping to really start to address affordability and also the infill lots. And based on the success of what we do this year with these first two projects, we will continue to invest in more of these infill lots as well. Benefit there being that the infrastructure is already there. The road, the access to and water is there. So from both fronts, we're going to kind of approach that. What I'm very excited about is that we studied this year what other communities are doing to incentivize development. We formed early in the year a neighborhood revitalization committee, and that group has been working with the city and looking at sort of where our opportunities are with properties. And what we found is that the cities that are doing the most in housing right now and being recognized for that, they have some incentives for builders and developers. And they're financial incentives. They may be direct financial grants, or they may be assistance with demolition cost or with lot purchases, things like that. And the cities will have some of their own money in that program, but then there's also money coming from a nonprofit, a local nonprofit like a community foundation. So we are in the process of forming a Grow Fairfield Housing Trust Fund, which will be a nonprofit 501c3. We already have commitments of up to $500,000 for that. And we're going to utilize that to flow money into new policy that the city would adopt to incentivize developers. The city will have the programs and the policy. They'll have their own matching sources of funds, but these nonprofit funds will come in as well and really send the message to people that we want to be in the housing business and we want to help incentivize you, because it's very difficult to build homes at this point in time. The margins, everything is very high, interest rates are high, cost of goods is high. So any way that we can help. But this is a way I think we're going to be able to really punch through. And if we can develop, say, the first phase of this subdivision of 31 lots over a 2 to 3 year period, we'll really be making progress along with the infill.
Absolutely. And one of the things we learned during the downtown assessment is if you're doing a project, you've got to have local, state, and federal funds to stack. So I love it.
Yep.
I love it.
Yeah.
All right. So housing was a priority. What else do we working on?
Well, we should talk a little bit about what we're partnering on.
Yes.
And that is that, for the last year, there's been a program operating out of the CoLab right near our offices referred to as Traction Thursday. And Jason, you know it well because
I
you
do know it very
stream
well.
and film it out. Organized by Bob Ferguson and also Alex Taylor, who comes to us from the New Bohemian Cooperative, New BoCo, out of Cedar Rapids. And they were contracted by the Iowa Economic Development Department to work with Henry County and other southeast Iowa counties to and kind of incentivize and help to cultivate entrepreneurship and new business development in rural areas. We quickly became a partner in that with them, and we've been the host for all of these events. And when I
Yes.
say we, I mean Chamber and Grow Fairfield. And the grant that supported that basically ran out at the end of the year, will run out shortly, and it's going to be refunded, but this time Fairfield will be the prime designee for
Yes.
this. So our organizations will actually be offering this service to local entrepreneurs. And we want to really expand that as well because
Absolutely.
we do have a lot of deal flow and business ideas that come through. It's pretty exciting, what gets presented. And there's a lot of great mentoring and expertise that comes out of it as well. But we don't really have, a channel for access to venture funds or angel investing and things like that for a lot of these good business ideas. And I think that's maybe next step for this process is to form something like that here so that we can really start to help shepherd some of these young new business and good business ideas.
Absolutely. And one of the other parts of that is we've got a lot of people who are very just wonderful, have a great idea. Like, I want to do this thing, but they don't know how to get it from the idea stage to, do I make it a product? Do I make it a storefront? So having Alex be able to come and do like a full day of just starting a business 101 or doing an EntreFest like they
Yes.
do in Cedar Rapids will also be a big part of that.
Yes. So we're excited about that. And again, that's really the business expansion part of what we want to focus on. The other is, just staying in touch with the needs of our existing employers and see what is it, what are their opportunities for expansion and what do they see are the priorities. Housing came out of that. I mean, basically, some businesses can't grow literally
Yes.
because employees that they want to attract don't have housing options that
Absolutely.
that they feel they're satisfied with. So we really want to take that one on.
Absolutely. And it's going to be great to have Alex in-house to be our entrepreneur in residence. And he can meet one-on-one with folks if they need it. And he'll know why they should join Grow Fairfield or why they should join the chamber once they get their stuff going and be able to promote both of us.
Right.
I mean, it's just a win-win for our community.
Right. And then, of course, the other that we were collaborating on, and really you are principal lead on this and have just done an amazing job over 2024, is positioning us to be a Main Street community. And you've probably talked about it on this broadcast before, but it's a concept that we've passed on in the past.
Yes.
We've just sort of said, no, we don't really need that, but. Our downtown is also critical to our reputation and to the desirability
Absolutely.
of living here. And we all began meeting on that a year ago in January
Yes.
with Mayor Boyer and with Terry Baker from the CVB. And we said, we all, each in our own way, have to, contribute in some way to moving, that forward. And then obviously the Main Street came out of that discussion. We're in good position to be selected potentially this year to be the next Iowa Main Street.
Absolutely.
And I think if we get that, then we're really going to be able to make some dramatic changes in the downtown that will make it a much more pleasant experience for people and really change the look and the ambiance of downtown.
Absolutely. Well, the downtown is our living room.
Yes, it is.
And the downtown assessment came in. We just got our report this week, 43 pages of suggestions and wonderful things about Fairfield. So we can use that to get our Main Street application off the ground. And this year, because next year is the 60th year for Main Street. So they're going to have a big year next year. So they are only inviting the 3 towns that were not successful in 2024 to apply. And they have budget room for all 3 of us. We just have to prove that we're ready. And I think that the downtown assessment really made it very obvious where our focus needs to be.
I didn't know the budget part. I thought maybe we were going to be 2 out of 3, so that's cool.
Nope. Well, they think that all 3 will apply.
Yeah.
There may only be 2 of us applying at this point. We for sure are in, because I've already said, yes, we would love to do that.
Yeah.
So I really was glad that we could just really back to back this, because we've already started to build the enthusiasm. And so now one of the things that we have to do is we have to get our goals focused, and we have to get people to support it. You have to be very visionary to support something that's not already there.
Right.
So watch for Ed or I or one of our steering committee people to come hit you up for supporting Main Street. We would like to make it financially so that the first 3 years are covered through donations, so that when we bring our Main Street director in November, they can just get to work, because Ed's organization is only 2 people. My organization is only 2 people. CVB is only 1 person. Right. The city has way too many other things. So this will give one organization who keeps downtown as their primary focus, so that we can do the other work that needs to be done.
Right. And look, I think that's, I feel that that's one of the other priorities that's out there in the community easily already when I have these conversations, whether it's with employers or just people who, care about the progress and the future of Fairfield. It all comes down to the downtown. So I think there's a high priority there, and I think we'll get that support.
Absolutely. All right. What else do you want to talk about? Anything else?
Let's see. We're the strategic plan that we completed. We will review that to set our goals and priorities for the coming year. We are going to be presenting to the city council on Monday what our annual accomplishments have been. So looking forward to that. We have a lot to go through with the city to get the completion of all of the preparatory things for the development. That the land out there actually hasn't been fully annexed yet. So that needs to be completed, and there are a couple of agreements that need to be in place, a urban renewal agreement and also a development agreement with the city. So we'll be working on those to get all those done over the next couple of months. The engineering work is already underway for the infrastructure, and we're working on a creative piece that'll be the beginning of our marketing materials for what the development will look like, what potential housing sizes, locations, things like that will be. So that's what we'll be busy on for the next 3-4 months, something like that.
That sounds like a lot.
And we'll get our Homes for Iowa in June. We'll get those placed, and we'll that I think be excited about that. And then hopefully by midsummer we're breaking ground for the infrastructure, getting that all in over a few months, and then next year we'll be breaking ground on new homes.
Wonderful, wonderful. Grow Fairfield does such a wonderful job.
Thank you.
I'm
Thanks,
so
Mary.
excited to have you as the director.
My pleasure. Thank you.
Perfect. Jason, I'm pretty excited. He does a lot of work. People don't understand how much a 2-person office does or a 1-person office does. Visit Fairfield, Grow Fairfield, the chamber. We all live it, work it, breathe it.
Yeah, I was going to say, I've said it before, people just don't understand the work involved. And it really is amazing to see basically Fairfield in a lot of ways firing on all cylinders, type thing. So hitting all those different areas, important, vital areas, in order to help make Fairfield grow is awesome to see. I know I get bits and pieces here and there, because I'm out filming and recording different meetings and things like that. But no, it's an absolute pleasure to see what is happening in the city.
I have one more thing. We got another minute?
Absolutely.
Just to mention.
Absolutely.
So the other thing on Monday night is during the work session prior to the actual council meeting, I'll be presenting something to the community, which will be kind of a new it'll be an application for a new designation referred to
Yes.
as Iowa Thriving Cities. So this is a program that the Iowa Department of Economic Development sponsors, and it's essentially to, again, just encourage and incentivize housing in our communities around the state. So the application process is a lot about the narrative of what your city is doing to create the opportunity for more housing development. And if you receive the designation, okay, you go on the list of cities that are referred to as an Iowa Thriving City. They're welcoming and friendly to, to developers, so that they will look to develop in your community. And then also, what comes with this as an advantage for a lot of these programs are additional points that developers can use on their grants, say for both
Nice.
low-income housing tax credits and for workforce housing tax credits. So the workforce housing tax credit in particular is something that it's a $40 million fund annually that the state provides. And these tax credits really support it. Martin Brett and his development has utilized tax credits. There have been one or two other developers in Fairfield who've used them over the years. But the points, it's a highly competitive program. 2 to 3 points bump from being an Iowa Thriving City will mean the difference between a successful and a non-successful application. Wow. So if we have that in place, then we're going to be more competitive. But I think the story that we can tell now with the work that we're doing on infill housing, with the city's engagement with a new subdivision, and with the Housing Trust Fund will really put us right up front in terms of a candidate for maybe next year's designation. So we're really hoping. So the pitch to the city will be, will you be willing to go ahead and do this application? I think they will.
Absolutely.
And we'll be a part of that, helping them with that as well. But if we can achieve that in 2025, it'll be a big one.
That's huge. Good job. You're
Thanks.
doing such great things. All right, Jason. I think we've had a full.
I was going to
full
say,
time.
I can't think of
My
anything
brain is-
else.
my brain is full.
And, well, it's
It's also Friday.
exactly. It's a Friday. Things are kind of, at that point. But I want to thank everybody for joining us once again for an amazing chamber talk. Very informative. And if you're not part of the Chamber of Commerce, if you don't get the chamber talk or the chamber chatter emails, go to fairfieldiowa.com, get signed up. It's super, super easy, super simple, and stay informed. Know what's going on in our community, be a part of it, and help Fairfield to grow.
Absolutely.
So again, thank you guys for joining us, and we'll see you next week.